If you're still shoving beer cans into a chicken's ass and throwing it on the Weber kettle, this video is gonna be life-changing for you. Because rotisserie over a fire is one of the simplest, most game-changing things that you can do for your Weber kettle. Now this bird's gonna be juicier than church gossip after the preacher got caught with the deacon's wife.
The Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want.
Now if you're from the South, you know what I'm saying. This bird's gonna have people confessing for just a bite. Wow. I'm Joe, and this is Fork and Embers. I like to make barbecue that's fancy enough to impress your in-laws, but it's not so fancy that it has to come with a wine pairing or a bill that feels a lot like a ransom note. It's gonna be simple enough that you can drink bourbon the whole time. Now, I've owned the Weber kettle longer than people in our town's Facebook group has pretended that bourbon's the problem and not their parenting. And I'll admit, I thought the rotisserie kit was gonna be a gadget that I bought and I never used again. Kind of like a bread maker or a roll machine. But here I am, feeling like Francis Mallman if he was raised on bourbon and Cracker Barrel. So today, I'm gonna be showing you how to take a humble grocery store bird and turn it into something majestic. Kind of like a swan with a criminal record. And all you're gonna need is a Weber kettle, a rotisserie kit, and a healthy disrespect for the fire marshal. But in all seriousness, we shouldn't be burning anything down. It's hot out here. It's 96 in this building. Holy hell. There's something primal about cooking over rotisserie. Makes you feel like you're connecting with your ancestors. You know, the ones that cooked with flames, or hunted with spears, or who would eventually evolve into something that would create bourbon. Cooking over fire is gonna be the closest thing you get to therapy without a copay. What's that? You don't have a rotisserie kit? Well, lucky for you, I've dropped my favorites in the description. Check out one of those, they're all gonna work. But you know what, while you're down there clicking on links, check out my Patreon. I do giveaways, exclusive content. I like to write articles that are equal parts helpful and funny and deeply concerning. Even if you're a free member, you walk away with something. So check it out, you have nothing to lose. Now, let's go ahead and get the meat spinning before the bourbon wears off. Yeah, it is burning. I'm sweating like a hog, man. Oh my God. Shoo. First thing we need to do is get a bird. Next thing is we want to dry brine this bird because we want that skin to get really crispy. Plus it gives it that more natural chicken flavor. And we're already cooking over fire as natural as we possibly can, so let's just stay true to that. You can probably see the sweat dripping off my fucking head. Crazy. So all we're gonna use is salt. We wanna make sure that we get salt all over this chicken. Make sure you get every nook and cranny. You wanna make sure you spread those wings out. Also get some in there too. So now that we have this bird completely covered with salt, we're gonna set it on a wire rack. And we're gonna put that in the refrigerator for about 24 hours. When we come back, that skin should be really taut and it's gonna result in a perfectly crispy skin. So I'll see you tomorrow. For the TV time, 3 or 4 seconds.
It is this turning of the earth on its axis that gives us the succession of night and day.
So this thing's been brining overnight for about 24 hours. So you'll notice that that skin has lost a lot of its moisture. It's gonna have a little bit, and if you wanna leave it in there longer for a couple days, you'll actually get a little bit less moisture in the skin. You can do what you want, but this is gonna work perfect for what we're doing. All right, so the next thing we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna truss this chicken. Trussing it is just pretty much tying it up, and the reason we want to do that is because we don't want these legs or these wings to really be hanging off the chicken. They'll overcook, they might burn. I'm gonna do my best to show you how I do it. All right, so what you want to do is take this string, 4 or 5 feet is probably enough. Place it, the middle of it, under the chicken here. You're gonna pull it up over, cross it, then take these 2 pieces on each side, run it under the leg, and when you pull, that should pull those legs together like that. That's what we want. Now, we're gonna turn the chicken over, go in front of the wings here like this, and we wanna tie it above the neck here. So do a couple loops, very simple, squeeze. And then I'll keep doing those until I feel comfortable. You don't want this thing coming apart on the grill. Now this technique is a Jacques Pepin. He's a famous chef.
Jacques Pepin.
I'll link his video in the description. This is how he does it, and it does a great job. I've done this multiple times. So you'll see this rope here, pull it behind the thighs like that. You don't want it on the thigh here. You want to put it behind it. Same thing on both sides. Then cut that off here. Last thing you want to do is take care of these wings here. Now you can either cut these off if you want, or what I like to do is take it and stick it under like that. I've never had a problem with them coming out. They usually go right behind the neck like that, and that keeps them from popping up out of the rope. And we keep those wings tight to the body so that they don't end up getting burnt, overcooked, or falling off the chicken. So after we've done this, we can go ahead and throw it on the rotisserie. Shoo, it is hot, holy fuck. In this building right now, 98. But I have been hydrating all day because I knew it was gonna be hot as shit. So we have this thing trussed. Next, we're gonna be using the rotisserie. We're gonna go ahead and put it on here so that it's ready to go. And I actually like to season it after I've gotten it on this rotisserie right here. Let's go ahead and do that. Just stick it right inside there till it comes out the other side there. This piece here needs to go into the back side right under the legs. This piece here, they're all pretty similar. Doesn't matter which one you buy. If you buy the Weber one, that's the one I got. So, and then you just tighten that down. And that boy ain't going nowhere. So what I like to do from here is I actually just season it with some pepper. We're gonna be keeping it very simple because we're gonna be bringing some flavors with a base later. So don't overdo it with the seasonings on this. Let's just do a little bit of coarse pepper. Cool thing about this is you got a built-in handle and you can just rotate it while you season. And we don't need to add any more salt. That thing's been sitting in a dry brine all night. We don't want it to be too salty. Okay, so now that this is on there, let's talk about how we're gonna use the Weber kettle. The fun part. So the first thing you need to do, get you a charcoal chimney and you fill it completely full. Then you wanna light those charcoals. While we're waiting on those charcoals to light completely, you wanna get you a drip pan. Get one like this. I like the narrow ones because I'm gonna set it directly under the chicken. I don't want it to be square and taking up a lot of the, cooking area that I can be using. Get one of these and you wanna place it directly on the center of the Weber kettle on the grate. But not on the top grate, we're taking that out completely. We're not gonna use that at all. Reason we wanna use this is because we don't want a fucking mess at the bottom of our Weber kettle when it's all said and done. Place wood on both sides of the drip pan. We're gonna cook that down to essentially coals, and that's what we're gonna be cooking with. I'm using a mixture of cherry and oak. I like the color cherry gives me, but I like the smokier flavor that I get from the post oak. But use whatever wood you have available. Once your coals are burning completely clean, go ahead and toss them on top of that wood. From there, it's probably gonna take about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how much wood you wanna use, to actually burn down into something that you can cook with. You don't want flames jumping up and cooking the chicken because you're not gonna get it even cooked that way. So just make sure that your wood is burning cleanly. And once you've reached that far, the fun begins and we get to throw the chicken on to the Weber kettle. All the rotisserie kits are pretty similar. I have the Weber brand one, but they all should pretty much be the same setup. Now most are gonna come with a ring that you place on top of the Weber kettle. Go ahead and place that on there. Mine also has a motor that comes with it, so I'm gonna go ahead and hook that up as well. And you're gonna have to run a cord out to it for it to be able to work. Next, you wanna take the end of the rotisserie and you'll actually have to stick it into the motor end so that it'll be able to turn it, and then just lay the chicken down across the middle. And you wanna make sure that that chicken is setting directly over the pan because you don't want that fat dripping down and causing too many flare-ups. You hit that button so it rotates for you. I'm not gonna stand there and manually rotate the chicken for an hour or two. So I recommend getting one that has a motor. If you don't have nothing better to do but stand there and rotate a stick, I envy you. Now, you just let it cook and we'll move on to the next step. But first,
This segment is brought to you by WeVac. Because freshness waits for no one. From freezer to flavor, WeVac keeps your barbecue bold and your meat mighty. Folks, tired of tossing good meat to the dogs? Limp lettuce, sad sausage, and buns that go stale faster than Junior's attention span? Well, say hello to the future of freshness. The WeVac CV12 Chamber Sealer. Built like a battleship and twice as useful. And with WeVac's cutter bag roll, you can kiss your scissors goodbye. Just slide, slice, and seal. Freshness at your fingertips without the fuss. Seal up those sausage links before they stink. And keep your buns fresher than a sock hop on Saturday night. Craving big flavor without the long wait. Simply set your meat in a bowl of marinade, pop it in the WeVac, press marinate mode, and in just minutes, it's ready for the grill. Leftover rotisserie chicken? Don't pitch it, reserve it. Lock in that smoky goodness like Uncle Sam locks the vault. And don't forget, your secret rubs and spices, pop them in a mason jar and let WeVac work its magic. Freshness sealed, secrets safe. It's precision bag cutting. One-touch sealing. No fuss marinating. All in a machine built tougher than your granddad's lawnmower. Don't cry over soggy meat, just WeVac. And keep it neat. The WeVac CV12 for the meat, the myth, the marinade.
All right, so I'm willing to bet you skipped that promotional segment, and if you did, you missed the Easter egg. If you're from the South, I definitely don't need to tell you what this is. Your grandmama and your mama probably has this in the cabinet somewhere. This is a rendered down pork fat. We're gonna use this as our basting liquid. So what you wanna do is you wanna take a pan, you wanna take this pork fat, and put us a good amount in there. Let's say about half a cup, maybe more, depending on how often you wanna baste it. I'm gonna go ahead and use what I got in here. Next, what you wanna do is you wanna take some garlic cloves, leave them whole, toss them in there. Next, you wanna take some red pepper flakes. I wanna add a little bit of heat. Add whatever your heart desires here. I use about a tablespoon. Next, out of my garden, I grabbed some oregano. Just take those, throw them in there. If you can't get fresh, get dry from whatever, grocery store. And I also got some thyme out of the garden. We'll toss that in there. What you wanna do with this is toss it on top of the Weber kettle, because we don't wanna fry the stuff in here. We wanna allow the oils and stuff to come out of those ingredients and infuse the oil. So really steeping the oil in those ingredients. The reason rotisserie works so well is because as it turns, that juice tends to stay on the chicken longer rather than just dripping off of it. So make sure you don't skip the basting part. Throw the basting liquid on top of the Weber kettle as soon as you put the chicken on, and you should have a really nice basting liquid to use. And we're gonna start basting about 15 to 20 minutes, or after you start seeing a little bit of color on your chicken. Optionally, if you'd like, you can also grill some lemon halves, and we'll finish the chicken with that. Just to give it a little bit of acidity and freshness. You wanna baste it about every 10 minutes until that breast reaches 160 and that thigh reaches at least 175. Now, those two don't always correlate, but do your best. I'm probably hitting it with close to 500 degrees in the beginning, and that can result in a little bit of skin tear, but you're gonna get probably the best skin of all the different temperatures you can use. Much more than 500, you're gonna burn something. If you don't want that skin to break, what you can do is keep that temperature around 350 to 425. That's the maximum. I did grill me up a lemon here. These things are easy to take off. You just twist this and that thing. There we go. Then the chicken should slide down there like that. What I like to do is go ahead and cut this string. It's done its job. One of my favorite parts is probably the wing there. And that wing gets really crispy. I'm gonna set that aside though. And, don't forget these oysters right here. That's like the backstrap. That's the chef's favorite bite. We're gonna save it though. Pretty much got everything off that. Now we got a feast. We went for a lot of savory. So hit it with a little bit of this lemon juice. Damn. Let's go with this leg here. Wow. It's so smoky. Cooking over at live fire, that's the trick, man. Cook that wood down to coal. You do gotta manage it a little bit more, move some coal around, things like that, but you get such a nice convection cook with that rotisserie. Like, I've been sleeping on a rotisserie, I'm telling you. Damn, that's a wrap right there. If you ain't got a rotisserie, get your ass out and get one, I'm telling you. It's such a fun way to cook. This is by far the best money, hands down, that I've spent on the Weber kettle. And if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, share it, you know, and if you want more, go check out my Patreon. You know, even the free folks get something. So you got nothing to lose. I'm Joe, this is Fork and Embers, and if you excuse me, I got some confessing to do over this chicken.